Elon Musk shocks the entire crypto world with his new statements that he just made on the Joe Rogan podcast. But that's just the beginning. He talks about how the government is the biggest Ponzi scheme, and that's coming from someone who's now indirectly employed by the government. Additionally, he talks about $1 trillion fraud. This whole thing just confirms how important Bitcoin is and underlines what Bitcoiners have been saying for a very, very long time. That's why what Rogan is unleashing here is ultra explosive and ultra intense. Here we have Elon Musk and Joe Rogan, who really don't hold back at all. The whole video has already racked up millions of views just a few hours after it was posted, and like almost every video featuring Joe Rogan and Elon Musk, it's going massively viral. It goes on for about 3.5 hours or so. But I have now picked out the best scenes where it is about crypto, where it is about massive fraud cases. But make sure to check it out now. First, we're talking about the general crypto market, meme coins, and stuff like that. And here we have an assessment from Joe Rogan and Elon Musk about what they think of the current situation.
Bananas.
Yeah.
It is so bananas that people dump real money into these coins, and then you could just pump them up and sell them.
It's like a casino or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's totally gambling.
And people just do whatever the greater fool theory and musical chairs, and whoever's like the last to sit down loses type of thing.
So that's already interesting. They're talking about meme coins, the stories that have happened with the Melania coin, the truck coin, and so on. They're totally making fun of it, saying it's like a casino, like a game of musical chairs. The last one left without a chair is the big loser. So that means it's not serious investing. You can do that, you can gamble and all, but that's not a serious investment. And it is very, very interesting that Elon Musk now thinks the same way, because he was also known to hype up Dogecoin or something like that. And even the founder of Dogecoin says that it's somehow just a meme coin or something like that. So it's very, very interesting that Elon Musk is so critical of meme coins. And I mean, a lot of Bitcoiners have been saying this for a long time. Hey, the meme coins and so on, it's a lot of opium, a lot of hype, and you really have to be very, very careful. But it's about to get even wilder. They're diving deeper and giving more tips on what to watch out for when investing, especially when it comes to any shady investments.
The last to sit down loses type of thing.
And somehow or another, it's still legal. Like that's.
I mean, the thing is, I think not too many people. I mean, it's sort of like you go to the casino. Like if you expect to win at the casino, you're being a fool. Okay?
Right.
So I think if you expect to win at meme coins, you're being foolish. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're not going to win at meme coins. It's like but if you want, like, don't sink your life savings into a meme coin.
No, but you can gamble a little, and you can ride waves and win a little and lose a little.
If you want to have some fun, and don't come, then play with meme coins.
But if you put your family's if you put your family's wealth
on a meme coin
in the Hawk Tua
at the risk of saying something bold and outrageous, don't bet the farm on a meme coin.
So they're also making it very clear that it's a warning to everyone who wants to mess around with meme coins or anything like that. They're making it very clear, or Elon Musk is making it very clear, don't bet the farm on some meme coin. So your life savings, by that I mean, doesn't necessarily have to be a farm. It can also just be your house, or it can also just be your balance in the account. If you have a certain amount of money, and that's like 80% of your wealth, then don't dump it all into a meme coin. Instead, treat it like going to a casino, where you might bet like 0.5% or 0.1% of your wealth just to have a little fun. Here it's also worth mentioning, I don't know what Elon Musk or Joe Rogan would say, but going to the casino and thinking you're going to be the winner is really, really foolish. That's a crucial point, and it's a big difference when you compare it to Bitcoin. With a lot of these meme coins, we're dealing with zero-sum games or casinos where one person's gain is another person's loss. And usually, the whole game is rigged in a way that only the issuers of the meme coins really profit, just like in a casino where the house always wins. This means that in the long run, mathematically speaking, you cannot win against a casino. And it's the same with the meme coin thing. If you don't have insider information, if you're not involved in pre-sales or anything like that, then it can be a really big risk. And that's the magic of Bitcoin, because with Bitcoin, we have a completely transparent system where anyone can benefit, whether you're a beginner, whether you've been in it for a long time, or whether you're just starting out. Nothing is rigged here. There are no pre-sales, and there are people who already have insider information from the get-go. Sure, there are also insiders and people who have heavy bags that can manipulate the markets a bit, but it's a really interesting perspective that there's such a critical view on meme coins. And I don't want to say, hey, ban it or anything, because that's also something they debated, should it be banned, and so on. I mean, people have to burn their fingers a bit themselves, that's the thing. They need to hold their hand in the fire to realize, okay, this doesn't work. And as long as people don't do that, it's difficult to have any kind of protection against it. And sure, you can say from a government standpoint, okay, let's just ban everything, but I find it a bit far-fetched when the state acts like the big nanny. The problem is, if they ban meme coins, then something else that might actually be useful could get banned too. They might lump Bitcoin in with meme coins, and then we end up banning Bitcoin as well because we don't understand the difference between meme coins and Bitcoin. And that's why it really is part of a free society to have the right and the freedom to get scammed and lose your money. But the question always is, where does fraud begin and where does it end? Is it already fraud, or is it just plain dumb, like going to the casino? Because a casino isn't really fraud, it's legal, but the chances of winning here are really, really low. And it's pretty much the same with meme coins. And that's the big warning from Elon Musk and Joe Rogan. But it gets even better.
Weird one is the pump and dumps. Like people
they happen all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
And people get shocked that somebody pump and dumped. Like, what are you doing? Like, I was hoping to dump. I was hoping to make all the money out of this. I can't believe they got me. Like,
yeah.
It's just weird that it's legal still.
I mean, casinos are legal.
Yeah.
And
it is
people
like a
just
casino.
lose money at casinos.
Yeah.
You know?
But you can't rig a casino like a pump and dump. You could rig a pump and dump. You know?
Yeah, I guess so.
Like, you could run a real pyramid scheme.
And now they're going into the whole pump and dump story, like for example, with the Trump coin, the Melee coin, and so on. What also happened was that insiders got into the coin very, very early and had already decided at which level they would sell everything. And then it would all get dumped. And at the moment when the hype was building up, a ton of new investors came into the market, and they ended up being the exit liquidity for the people who dumped the coin. And here Joe Rogan says, hey, you can't manipulate a casino as much as you can a meme coin. And that's why a meme coin is actually a more dangerous game than a casino. Because with a casino, you know up front, okay, what the rules are, what the process looks like. And with a meme coin, you often don't really know that. You don't know who the people are that got paid, who the influencers are that received certain coins, when the rug pull is going to happen, and that's a really interesting observation.
You could run a real pyramid scheme.
Well, I mean, the government's one big pyramid scheme, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, you can tell me better than anybody.
Social Security is the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time.
Here he says in the discussion about meme coins and casinos, hey, all this talk about meme coins and casinos is fine and dandy, but the biggest scam, the biggest or a huge Ponzi scheme is actually the government. And the biggest Ponzi scheme that exists is Social Security. And what he says here is very, very interesting, because I think he is now somehow involved in the Trump administration. I don't know if he gets money from the government here or anything, but I mean, he at least gets support through subsidies and stuff. And he's definitely pretty much merged with the government, so to speak. You really have to be critical about that. Some people say, for example, Elon Musk is only so successful because he's received so many government subsidies and so on, but he speaks quite openly about how the state is a huge Ponzi system. But I think it's important to say it like that, because firstly we have the fiat money system, where we have massive redistribution, where people who are close to the money printing wave benefit massively. Then we have the pension system, which is also a made-up Ponzi system, which means that we have bad demographics. The pension system does not work with the current demographics that we have in Germany, with the demographics that we have in the USA. If there are simply fewer people paying in and more people taking out, and we have a pay-as-you-go system, then it does not work. So a lot of people think, in the pension system, you pay in money. And it's somehow invested for you, and eventually you get that money back. No, that's not how it is. The money you pay in is immediately taken by someone on the other side. And the problem is, it worked well when you had a good demographic situation. In the meantime, the federal budgets and all states have to provide massive subsidies to prevent the pension Ponzi from blowing up. And on the other hand, no party wants to make cuts, like having people work longer, work more, or get paid less. And the system just can't be sustained anymore. I think in Germany, it's already like 20 to 30% of the federal budget or something that's just being pumped in to keep this Ponzi scheme going. And that's why Elon Musk also says, hey, this is a huge Ponzi scheme. But Elon Musk goes a step further here because he doesn't just say the pension system is a Ponzi scheme, he says the entire social security system is a Ponzi scheme. So, those are social securities, social insurances, pension insurance, which means the whole system around it. Because you're basically outsourcing all your power to the government. That means the government takes away a lot of taxes. The government then says, okay, I'll protect you, but in return, you have health insurance, you have this, you have that, and whatever. And then you have the social insurance system. For example, I realize that if I immigrate now, suddenly I don't have any safety nets anymore. If I am unemployed, then I don't get any money. If I am sick, then I have no insurance, then I can't go to the state anywhere. If I'm old enough, then I can't go to the state and say, hey, I want pension insurance here, and so on. That means I don't have any of the security here, any of the social systems. I don't have any of them. And then you realize how deeply you are caught up in the Ponzi system because you are forced to join these social systems, and sometimes it is done so nasty that the money is not taken directly from you, but from your employer, and in the end you have 1/3 or something like that deducted from your paycheck just for some social security stuff. I'm exaggerating a bit now, of course, and when you leave the system, you realize, hey, you have a lot more money left because suddenly you are no longer part of the social security system. Sure, some people might be into having everything insured and all that, but I think it's pretty awesome when you can tell people, hey, I'm taking less from you, so you can keep more for yourself. But you also have to take on more personal responsibility. You really have to take care of your own finances, look after your health, and manage your own retirement and all that. And that's the question. Do you want to rely more on Social Security and stuff like that, or do you want to focus more on personal responsibility? And as I understand it, Elon Musk is more calling for people to take more personal responsibility and to be less dependent on the government. Because the government is the problem, they take a cut, and they do some good things, but in the process, half of it just gets lost in bureaucracy. Then money goes out, USAID sends cash, abroad to finance all sorts of weird things that nobody needs, and so on. And that's definitely a significant issue that Elon Musk is bringing up. By the way, since we're on the topic of Social Security, a few people have written in saying, wow, you sound a bit stuffy or something. Yeah, I'm actually a bit stuffy because I sleep outside all the time. So I hardly use my house at all. I mostly sleep outside. And now yesterday it started to rain and storm. And the spot where I was, it rained so much that I didn't even feel like going inside because I would have gotten completely soaked. And then I just slept outside, woke up the next morning, but I had a really bad drought and everything. And then we went cliff jumping and everything. Now I'm feeling a little under the weather, but what does under the weather mean? So I'm still going to hit the sea later, go for a swim, and then take a hike. So it'll all be fine again. The power of fasting is something I always tell people, like, hey, fast, because if you fast, you'll get better so quickly. And that's when I notice, I'm already so much better. So even if something small happens, if you're always in a fasting cycle, or if you notice you're feeling under the weather and you fast for a bit, you'll bounce back really quickly. Or if you're doing intermittent fasting, which is also pretty wild. So that's just my experience. You guys have to make your own experiences. But now we have the very last clip, and it's another mind blower that Elon Musk is bringing to life.
Here's another way to look at this. Imagine if there are people like you and the Doge team out there in the world. Imagine if one of those works for an organization like USAID or any other organization and has this understanding of how much fuckery is involved, but they have evil intentions. And they're entwined in this system for decades and decades, and they've built a career and all the entanglements that come with it, and they start moving shit around. You could probably do it easy. It sounds like the way you've laid it out. If you were a career person who's in there forever, who knew how everything works, and you were very clever, you could make some shit happen. And you could probably do it in conjunction with some people that you know that are forming an NGO. Hey, let's all work together. Yeah. And this is the resistance that you're facing.
Yeah. I think it's the biggest scam of all time.
This is not something you ever sought out to do.
The biggest scam of all time, ever.
Of human history.
Of human history, yes.
Wow. I think you're right.
Yeah.
What else
it's
could
probably
be better?
a $1 trillion scam. There's never been a $1 trillion scam, you know.
And that's just over the top. Elon Musk is talking here about the biggest scam of all time that's happening in the state. So, Jerrigan is pointing out that there are a lot of corrupt positions in the government. Some people who have been involved here for a really, really long time. And these people can also move money around or basically line their own pockets or those of others without a lot of people even noticing. And that's why the Department of Government Efficiency wants to uncover these stories. And Elon Musk is talking here about a $1 trillion scam, the biggest scam of all time. I don't know if it's really true that it's the biggest scam of all time. If you take a look, for example, the fiat scam is actually really well done. On the other hand, you could say he's back in cahoots with the government. I would definitely say that the biggest scam in humanity might actually be the fiat money system. Elon Musk is talking more about the state system, the corrupt state system. I mean, that's a philosophical debate. Feel free to drop a comment below about whether you think the government is more corrupt or if the central banks are more corrupt. Or you could say then it all ties together. They always say officially, yeah, the central bank and the government are independent. But you can see that the independence is increasingly shaky, so it would be really interesting to see down below whether the government or the fiat money system is the bigger scam. And if you're done with scams and want to buy Bitcoin, I definitely recommend checking out 21 Bitcoin, the easiest way to buy Bitcoin. With the code Bitcoin Hotel, you can get up to 20% off the fees when buying Bitcoin. And here it's really, really important to have your own hardware wallet to avoid scams, so you don't have to trust a third party or an exchange. You can manage your own Bitcoin keys with your own hardware wallet and be completely self-sovereign. That's the absolute highest level you can achieve with Bitcoin, holding your own Bitcoin keys with your hardware wallet. That's why I'm also putting a link down below to what I think is the best hardware wallet on the market, the TREZOR hardware wallet. With the code Bitcoin Hotel, you can still get 10% off the purchase of a hardware wallet. Guys, I'm signing off here from El Salvador, from the Bitcoin Terrace. Alright, peace out.